Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only Kamlesh, and we are back for day 2 of our daily sports roundup. Today, we're going to be talking a bit of soccer and a bit of boxing and mixed martial arts. Yes, we'll be diving into some transfer news because the transfer season is here. We'll be reviewing if managers are really necessary in football anymore due to what Arne Slot has just done with Liverpool, or is it the hierarchy, the structure above the manager that matters more? So yeah, join me for more and all that right here on the Black Coat Fire Network, the media of the 21st century. And without any further ado, we start off with some nice boxing stories. And today I had an idea, right? Like we can check out some of the fastest boxers of all time, and we can react to them, and we can you can give me your opinions, and I'll go through the comments and tell you what I think.
Boxing's most elite rapid-fire pugilists.
Thomas really nailed. Big left hook, big right hand. Down it goes, big left Thomas.
It feels like an eternity since we've uploaded one of these, but today's video will stand above all others before and after. Raw clips, performance cards, key stats, and most importantly, a migraine for the poor man that had to share the ring with them.
Now Ortiz is going. Oh my God!
The fighters will be ranked by pound for pound, so you might see a few slightly slower, bigger guys higher up. But I can assure you, to make this list, you've got to be a speed demon of the highest order.
Can you imagine that? Not just being a good boxer, but fast as well.
You've got to be a speed demon of the highest order.
So let's see the top 25 fastest boxers that will never be forgotten.
We have the currently active George Linares.
Quiere acabar esto, señores. No está viendo de nuevo el de Venezuela atacando.
Siento que los dedos están cortados.
Good work from Linares.
There are only a handful of fighters listed today that still participate in the sport, but I think it's fair to say the lightweight warrior has proven his deadly fast hands at world level long enough to earn a spot.
But it would be an upset. Oh, down goes Campbell on a right hand by Linares.
Damn, that was fast. What?
Round. And Eddie Hobson pouring it on.
Good activity for Hobson. He can put 10, 12 punches together. Right now, Sonny Long doesn't really know what to do.
Oh, look out, he's going for more. There's 3. Is there one more? There is.
If you're wondering who the hell Eddie Hobson is, don't be alarmed. I can actually imagine there are a few hardcore fans watching this thinking the same thing.
Well, it was obvious that he could not deal with the hand speed of Eddie Hobson tonight. Another step in the development of Eddie Hobson. Now back to Sam.
This once standout teenage amateur failed to leave much of a legacy as a pro. In all honesty, he had the tools to be an elite champion, but was never the same after suffering his first defeat at 26-0.
Eddie, he won the
You'll struggle to find a YouTube video with more than 1,000 views with Hobson in the title, which is sad considering the talent he possessed. A fantastic boxer mover that could strike like lightning from all angles.
Undefeated Eddie Hobson in the white trunks, and he floors Hector Bonhardin.
Oh, good combination by Judah. Pouring it on. No doubt hoping to finish with a knockout.
Then you would have had a problem. I'd be really upset. Combination from Judah followed by a left.
Wow.
Judah is a name you'll see pop up on many lists like this. However, it's vital the clips presented are from back when he still had a bit of hair on his head. Sure, they're a bit grainier in terms of visual quality, but it's before the 2000s when his speed and reflexes were at their most
Evidence
ferocious.
of that here in the opening minutes.
No, it's interesting. McGrone said he's hard to hit with 2 punches.
It's the movement for me. Man, how he's able to switch and still throw hands that fast.
It's admittedly a top draw contender in his day.
It was no big secret that Zab Judah, as an amateur, was actually sparring with Pernell Whitaker. And the stories were that he would hold his own.
Here, Johnny loads up the right hand, left hook again. Oh, did he turn on that right hand?
Joni Tapia. Feel free to give me your opinions on this list, by the way.
Tapia, with his amazing fighting style being just one of them.
Angles. He's embarrassing the WBA's #1 contender. What can I tell you?
One of the most unique boxers in history for the way he could knuckle down and trade in the center of the ring. Tapia had that crazy sort of speed that looked sped up at times, but I can assure you, like all the other clips in this video, it hasn't been manipulated in any way.
That real power. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa, what a thump as Walker hits the canvas.
North to finish the man, puts another 2 rights down the pipe. They were down the pipe. It was a good comeback.
Terrible Terry Norris was an explosive beast in his prime. If his opponent showed a slight glimpse of weakness, he would pounce faster than a starving cheetah, whether the bell had sounded or not.
Round 3. And they fight after the bell.
Outside of his dirty tactics, he was also known for his impressive hand speed and combinations, something the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard had to find out the hard way.
Body blow landed by Terry Norris. Gets inside of 10. Norris.
Pretty soon. Absolutely.
It's always amazing when you get to watch such amazing talent showcased at the highest level between two really talented fighters.
The future world champion Terry Norris. This is my last fight. Thank you for coming out. God bless you all.
Remember, Gardner has never been stopped, but he is now.
That was his mouth guard, by the way.
He lost his concentration.
Michael Dokes defies the standard model of a speedster. He's a heavyweight, slightly chubby, and for much of his career, an alcoholic and drug addict.
I think it was supposed to happen like that. It taught me a great lesson.
Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson reap all the praise when it comes to quick heavyweights, but I think Dokes lets his shots fly just as fast, if not faster.
The opening round scheduled for 12.
He's the first fighter that I fought. Yeah, as a heavyweight, he had quick hands just like mine. Whatever I hit him with it, he hit me back. If I hit him 3 times, he hit me 3 times.
Holyfield is taking good shots. Oh, he's gotten hurt. He's got Holyfield in some trouble here.
His corner told him when Tony rolled to go underneath. He keeps going on top. Tony was
James Toney.
left and right.
While James Toney will always be renowned for his defensive wizardry during his prime, you'll have to give credit where it's due and rank him amongst the top middleweights of all time in terms of hand speed as well.
And there's a left hand. And that's
Next, I got milk, baby. Who's next?
Toney has an incredible 30-year career in professional boxing, winning countless titles across countless divisions. While I enjoy watching an overweight James toy with the guys up at cruiser and heavyweight, nothing compares to the slim 160-pound version of himself. A good 6 to 7 years of pure destruction.
Wow. Pretty boy Floyd. Money
It's probably
Mayweather.
no surprise that the greatest boxer of this generation makes the list, and it could quite easily be for the slick, pot-shotting style during the tail end of his career.
Sticks the right hand, and there's a counter left hook to the body by Canelo. But Mayweather keeping him at bay with the jab.
People often overlook just how fast Floyd can throw a single punch, especially for a man in his mid-30s. Still, he makes it at number 14 for the way he took fighters apart for the first 10 or so years of his career.
Took a left hook, trapped it back.
Floyd Mayweather is supposed to win. He's a virtuoso in his prime. Only complacency truly can endanger him.
Yeah, if you remember, Oscar De La Hoya was a beast back in the day.
Truly can endanger him.
Steal. De La Hoya.
Some of these things you just can't say much about them apart from witness greatness, you know. Because I can't give you any technical insights into this more than you know about it. But the fact that you can witness such greatness and evidence of like rigorous training day in, day out with a set goal, to be accomplished. It's just amazing to watch.
Turned pro in 1992, and it wasn't until the turn of the century where he started to suffer the defeats we see on his record today. During that time, he fought Hall of Fame legends back-to-back and took them apart with rapid-fire combinations.
Lyndon
Even the great Julio Cesar Chavez admitted he'd never seen speed like De La Hoya's.
Chavez at this point now blood from the nose of Julio Cesar Chavez.
I personally think Oscar is one of the most underrated fighters in the modern era. Glance over that resume and watch back some of the old tapes. A formidable talent beat only by himself.
Duarte holding on. 14th round. It's open. Looking on. Halpin's close. He's close. What a brave man Oscar De La Hoya is. Expected. He said he's not looking for the Tyson or There's a combination uppercut by Tyson. Tyson laid it on, pouring it on. Down goes Bruno.
This man was just different, though. The temperament, the technique was just different.
I hope you didn't think that we were...
I mean, look at the size of that neck, bro. What the hell is that?
Miss out on Kid Dynamite.
What is that? And this is like a young Mike Tyson. He's barely 19 or 20 at the time. How are you that big, bro?
Mike Tyson set the model for how all short heavyweights should take to the ring against these modern-day dinosaurs.
Tyson misses the left, and then lands a pulverizing left that sends Foley crashing to the canvas.
Many regard Tyson as the fastest heavyweight of all time, which is fair enough. But to think many regard him as one of the hardest hitters as well, geez, you just have to feel sorry for his opponents.
I didn't challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills. They're just as good as dead.
If he can beat this man, there's another one. There's a big left hook. Why not stop it now? And there's the...
Shane Mosley was another one.
Trying to land two. Another hard right hand.
And if you notice something, yeah, among a lot of these athletes, the things that bring them down is their own complacency most of the time.
Stone is in trouble. Left hook.
Because like this, at the skill level, they're unmatched. You get, and their downfall is always them.
Nady stops the fight. That is a flat-out knockout.
Another entrant that might raise a few eyebrows, but when Shane Mosley burst onto the scene in the mid-90s, fight fans around the world were truly believing this might be the next pound-for-pound star.
Big left hand by Mosley. Oscar De La Hoya unfazed. Mosley landing again.
Mosley is another one of those guys that fought the who's who of everybody from his era. A three-weight world champion that, if he didn't whip your ass, would certainly go down trying. A future Hall of Famer for sure.
Mosley. Another big right hand. Mayweather's knees buckled on the second right hand. Good left hand to the body. Right swing again. Down goes his combo.
It pains me to watch back at young Gamboa and wonder how great he might have been if it wasn't for his promotional problems.
No rings around my eye, ain't no blood coming out my nose. That should indicate I haven't been in there with Gamboa.
Before his loss to Terrence Crawford in 2014, Gamboa was running through world champion with staggering ease, consistently firing off some of the most visually pleasing combinations you'll ever see.
Prepared physically.
But question, what happens to some of these amazing fighters once they lose a single fight? They seem to fall off a cliff.
Singa did not. Wow! Gamboa!
Fast. Last night I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was gone.
Come on. This isn't competition anymore. This is a bloodline. This is absolutely fantastic.
Look at that image. This dude is just trying to survive this fight, this barrage of punches, man. Look, that man is just trying to survive. From that point, he's just trying to breathe.
Oh, kind of a tough spot in there with Clay peppering it, and down he goes.
Muhammad Ali takes the number 10 slot due to his breathtaking performances during the 60s. His slick upper body movement and mesmerizing footwork made him as close to being
Do you think his technique will be just as good today?
untouchable as possible. Then you accompany that with his stunning power and blitzing hand speed, and you're left with a man worthy of the greatest alias.
Look at that. Like, the techniques just don't match. One is attacking and the other one can only defend. That's speed right there.
But the man's in trouble. I'm going to show you how great I am.
He continues to fire resolutely in round 6.
This man was dangerous. Manny Pacquiao was dangerous.
The boxing world had never quite seen a prime fighter like Manny Pacquiao before. Not just because he blitzed through 8 weight divisions, but rather the manner and how he dealt with elite world champions back to back.
Fire against fire, down the stretch.
One of my personal favorites of all time, Manny was a true champion in and out of the ring. He took on every challenge life could throw at him and conquered them all in devastating fashion. From the year 2000 to 2010, we witnessed one of the greatest primes in any boxer's career. Although many will argue Floyd was a better fighter, you can't deny the entertainment value Manny brought to the ring.
I can handle his punches. He's just too fast. Was that basically the story of the fight?
Yeah, he was too fast. Fucker was too fast.
What? When your opponents are openly agreeing to it? Okay, now here's where some of us get educated. I don't know about this one.
Just as the undefeated Rocky Marciano called it today, and just before the Big Bear Sonny Liston crushed everything in his path, a man by the name of Floyd Patterson reigned as the #1 heavyweight in the world.
What? You can barely see the punches, man.
Marciano called it today, and just before the Big Bear Sonny Liston crushed everything in his path, a man by the name of Floyd Patterson reigned as the #1 heavyweight in the world.
He wasn't too fast for Marquez.
I mean, what?
He wasn't too fast. He wasn't too fast for Marquez, Cam. Marquez got cheated the first time when he beat Pacquiao. The next time he knocked his ass out. Show ass out.
Now, I'm just saying, from what I'm seeing, okay, and what I say, as I started this, I say, with certain fighters, I'm getting educated as well. But
there's certain style to a certain fight.
Exactly. But when you see how fast these people throw their hands and the level of skill, and then there's somebody that can beat that, you wonder who beats that though.
Yeah. Hey, since you're showing that, let's go to YouTube. Let's type in Pacquiao gets knocked out by Marquez. Because what you would do, Marquez, just say Pacquiao gets knocked out, and it would pop. So just type in Pacquiao gets knocked out. See what you would do for that, you would be what they call, instead of boxing them, you'd be a counter puncher. That's what Marquez was. That's why Marquez would have beat him twice. And they cheated him the first time. The second time Marquez knocked him out. Juan, just say Pacquiao gets knocked out.
All right, here it is.
All right, let's look at it. He knocked his ass out. Marquez beat him twice, but they cheated him because they wanted Pacquiao to be undefeated to fight Mayweather. Mayweather just made it look easy against Pacquiao. Mayweather was just such a much superior fighter forward. But Marquez really beat him twice. And Marquez, they stole the first one from him because he beat Pacquiao to a pulp.
Okay. But prime Manny Pacquiao was dangerous.
He was so dangerous. He just couldn't be. He couldn't be more. He was never dangerous to Marquez. Here we go. Let's see it.
All right, let's check this out.
All right.
Marquez was off balance again. Now gets his feet back and tries to roar back to nail Pacquiao with the right hand. Oh!
That's embarrassing. Damn.
He's knocked out cold too, Cameron. Yeah, look, he didn't get up. He's gone. He put him to sleep.
He's gone.
He's so fast, he's been knocked out.
He might have knocked himself out. That's how fast he is.
Here comes Marquez, follow with the overhand right. You see that?
Look, wow, right in the face.
Yeah, Marquez is a counter puncher, so that's how you do with somebody's feet. You just keep waiting for them to lure them in, Cameron. So you're a counter puncher. You can't match their speed, so you don't try to. So you wait for them to attack you, and you counter punch. And so that's what Marquez is. So that's why, like you said, styles make fights. That's why Marquez is always really. I don't think Pacquiao ever beat Marquez ever, and no fight. All fights, Marquez dominated them fights. And this one, he said he's gonna knock him out too. He said, "I'm gonna have to knock him out because they're gonna try to cheat me again. So I'm gonna knock him out."
Yeah, and the fact that he actually went ahead and did that shows how confident he was of his skill. And
that's true. Because I didn't even believe it. I believe it was gonna be a good fight, but I didn't believe he's gonna. Well, I don't know. I can't doubt he's gonna knock him down. I said Marquez is not. Because Marquez in the first fight they did, he knocked Pacquiao down. I think they both knock each other down. Go to fight. Say Pacquiao and Marquez knock each other down. When they go back and forth, that's the first one. Just say Pacquiao and Marquez knock each other down. They kept knocking each other down. They kept getting back up. That was their first fight. So the first fight was a war. And then
that's the best kind of fight to watch,
It was a great fight.
That's the kind of fight to stay up to watch.
I agree with you. It's a great fight. But I like enlarge the screen. Yeah. Enlarge the screen. Yeah, right there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that's it.
I want a good clean fight. Pinapalea limpia. La truza aquí, un poquito alta, a little high here. Yours are okay. A little bit high too, but punches here are good. Give me a good clean fight. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Talk about.
Okay. Let's go.
Final instructions from Joe Cortez. The World Featherweight Championship on the line.
I think this is the first time in a while you can say it's truly the World Featherweight Championship.
Oh, Pacquiao was 25 at the time.
Yeah, so they both were young.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is the first time in a while you can say it's truly the World Featherweight Championship.
And Manny beats Marco Antonio Barrera.
Didn't even win a title.
And didn't win a title.
Who everybody recognized as the World Featherweight Champion.
Left-hander comes out. He's wearing the flaming trunks. Marquez, a more subtle white color with the red trim. Scheduled for 12 rounds. And I think it's going to be like this.
Wait, who fights for 12 rounds, though? Damn.
You train 6 months. Each month is a round. every 3 weeks is a round. Something like that. I can't remember.
Dang.
A lot of training. Lot of training.
That's a lot. That's too much.
Is he moving in?
Imagine the level of fatigue that your muscles have to endure for those 12 rounds, because you're getting hit and you're expecting energy to hit this person back.
Of course, Kevin, because you work your way through it. Boxers always find what they call their second breath. Their second, in any athlete, you always find your second wind. So, but you don't want to punch yourself out. You're right. So you want to conserve yourself, because right in the later rounds, if you all, throw all your punches out, you're tired, and they're gonna wipe the floor for you. So that's called, we normally call that the rope-a-dope. You stay on the rope, you play possum. You feel like you don't, like you said, you don't exert all that energy, and you wait for the later rounds to knock somebody out. Because boxers are always smart.
especially if you have a good defense. Like
exactly.
Like Floyd
Like
did. He could just tire you out.
Yeah. Mayweather was. Yeah, exactly. Mayweather didn't have knockout power, but he had a great defense, and he was and he was tactical with his boxing. So you didn't see him knock a lot of people out like Pacquiao did, but Mayweather's hand speed was actually faster than Pacquiao. He just was a better boxer. That's why when they finally fought, it was boring because Mayweather just dominated that fight. It was boring. Man, this fight. So they knocked him down. You're like, oh man, he got me.
All right, let's go.
You got him.
His confidence has got to be shot.
Yeah, he's got to be in a little bit of trouble here. He gets knocked down again. The referee might end the fight.
We didn't even get started, and Pacquiao was all over him. That could be it.
That one hurt him.
Only 30 seconds left in the round.
I don't think he's going to make it through the round. He gets hit with another left hand, that's going to be it. But Pacquiao's got to be careful. Marcus can hurt you too. I don't know if the referee will let it go if he gets knocked down for a fourth time.
15 seconds left in the round. Pacquiao just comes in and just unloads. I mean, this is no funny business whatsoever.
What?
Marquez has been down 3 times in the first round.
See, Pacquiao's got his confidence now since he knocked him down. He just goes, see, that can be dangerous though, Kamlesh, when you got a counter punch. Pacquiao doing that can be dangerous because you think you're doing, he's setting you up. That can be dangerous. You out there, yeah, I'm beating him up, I'm coming towards him. He's really sizing you up. Yeah, exactly.
You false confidence so that you can get off your game and start going off your gut, and then you get your gut punched out.
Exactly.
That is his bread and butter, that left hand. He's got to be careful in this fight, though. If he lays in there with that left hand, he gets too careless, he could very well be countered by Marquez.
Becky hit his ass when he's got to get up. Get your ass down there.
I chill. Let me stand up for a minute.
I know, Jesus Christ.
Hey. But yeah, as we switch up sport real quick, we'll still maintain the combat perspective.
All right.
Right now, I want to go to some UFC, exactly.
All right.
Because in my opinion, this sport is way more dangerous than boxing.
Of course it is, because it's mixed martial arts. And the glove, can you even call those gloves? You might think those, I don't even call them gloves.
It's like you're getting punched right in, and then there's a promotion that is it bare knuckle fighting? There's a promotion like that actually promotes.
Yeah, well, that's as close to bare knuckle as you want to get. That UFC. That's close. That's as close to bare knuckle as I want to get.
Because the minute this man hits you, you feel it. You feel those knuckles. He can kick you. He can kick your head. He can use his elbows.
Everything. Yeah, head is a weapon. It's the more dangerous sport. That's why I would never do it. It's a more deadly sport than Kamlesh. It's like pick you up, drop it on your head, all kind of crazy shit.
We got out of the Colosseum, but the gladiators never went away.
That's what it's like.
They're in cages now and rings.
I know, but they ain't that's a little too. I'd rather box. I'd rather box. That's a little too dangerous. Every part of your body is a weapon.
Look at this dude. Look at him. He wouldn't even recognize himself in the mirror. And then, this is where these companies get smart. They hire these fighters as independent contractors, not as employees. So they're not liable for
they're not liable. Yeah, they're not liable for the medical. Not liable for nothing happening. Exactly.
Yep. So
the private
after
contractor.
This, he's going to the hospital on his own bill. Damn.
That's right. That's how savage these people are.
Three, 2, 1. What?
You sharing your screen? You sharing your screen, Kamlesh? I don't see nothing. You sharing your screen?
I am.
Oh, I must be stuck. I don't see nothing on my end.
Nah, I wasn't. Let me get to it.
Yeah. All right. I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah, cause damn. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, here we are. Let's start this off.
It's all good.
This is the most unexpected finishes in the UFC history. Basically, what that means is the person was losing until they won. So this is basically self-belief, man. Just believing you can win till the last minute. The backstory, the story behind this fight is just amazing.
What is it? What is the camera?
Adesanya had, so they started their rivalry during their kickboxing days, and Pereira was the first person to knock out Adesanya and the only person to ever defeat Adesanya in mixed martial arts. So after that, Pereira went back to Brazil and he was doing Brazilian things like women and booze.
Maybe he was depressed.
I mean, who knew? And Adesanya was out here making a name for himself. So Adesanya gets into the UFC. He's one of the hottest prospects. And, and when he becomes champion, he taunts this man. When he's asked, what will you say about Alex Pereira coming to the UFC since he is the only loss you have on your record ever? And he's like, I don't care. He's probably somewhere in Brazil getting drunk.
Well, he was true. He was right.
Yeah, but Pereira took that personally. And he went back to the gym. And he came to the UFC.
All right, what happened?
And he knocked. Listen.
He knocked him out?
He knocked him out. Let me get that for you.
All right. Let's check it out.
He knocked him out. Oh, man.
They should have kept that man's name out your mouth and let him stay drunk. Let him stay drunk in Brazil. Don't give nobody no motivation to come see you, Kamlesh.
You know. Pull up on you? No, don't do that.
Especially when he's already knocked you out before.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Take your time. If you can find it.
So in this is the initial fight in MMA. Let me share my screen. The first loss that he suffered. This was it. Let me pull it up. So this is the first loss.
左手平勾，左平勾打到黑龙了，黑龙哦，看黑龙这个时候呼吸来了，还得读秒，让培养站到边两上去，停止比赛了。是，但是裁判对
weak chin, man, weak chin. So they were fighting out in China, and this was Adesanya's first ever loss. So after this, he goes.
Okay, that was in China. Yeah, wow, that was a quick knockdown. I think he might got a glass chin.
Yep, that's a glass chin right there, and it was exposed again and again. So
wow,
it was exposed by the same guy.
You should, like I said, you should keep that man's name out your mouth.
So let me run this video, yeah, about the bad.
It wasn't
blood.
until he met the Black Dragon.
That's why. You cannot stand in front of that man.
A thundering left hook sends Israel Adesanya crashing down, and he's floating in and out of consciousness. He's badly dazed and confused and needs oxygen and assistance.
He had noodle legs because of eating noodles in China.
Specialist from Brazil, who has beaten arguably one of the greatest MMA fighters on 3 separate occasions. Unlike the majority of fighters across the globe, Alex Pereira's family stems from an indigenous tribe. With nature in the depths of the Amazon rainforest. When many would walk to the fridge for dinner, Alex's family would set foot into the wild with a bow and arrow. Eventually his family would swap the natural jungle.
You can't be fighting that man got feet like that. He's been walking in the Amazon with no shoes on. Wrong with you?
We're gonna kick you back to ancient civilization.
That's right.
Of South.
And he grew up in poverty when they moved to the favelas as well. Like it's not like
okay. All right.
Inhabit the rest of the city. The children born into such a society suffer disproportionately as they grow up surrounded by drugs, violence and murder. Alex indeed would pay the price. A school dropout by the age of 12, turned alcoholic by the age of 13.
Foi que eu tava, pô, já perdidão mesmo, eu bebi.
What? Drops out of school by 12, alcoholic by 13.
That's crazy. That's a rough life, Cameron. That's a rough life.
What?
His lifestyle consisted of 12 hours of work a day in a tire shop, fueled by Brazilian rum, surrounded by adults. It is highly likely that many children fall victim to the criminal world that consumes the life in the favelas. The burning desire to free oneself from such conditions is said to rely upon the prospect of becoming 2 things, a football player or a fighter. There is no surprise Brazil has graced UFC with many champions who have ruled over many weight classes and divisions.
You made a 13-year-old kid sitting next to you drinking Brazilian rum. What?
While fixing tires.
Oh,
and he's drinking a
that's
liter.
Crazy. Go ahead, Kevin.
And he was saying he's drinking a liter a day.
Jesus Christ.
And he's 13.
Jesus Christ. That man looking at me alive. It's crazy.
You know.
And dig himself out of the life that could have buried him. His savior was kickboxing. The sport encouraged him to beat his alcohol addiction and set him on his path to a glorious career in the sport.
And such a man is dangerous because they have discipline. They have a reason why. Okay? You don't want to fight a man.
He does have discipline because yeah, exactly. But remember, they said through his practice, his discipline came in. He was able to kick alcoholism at the time and become a world champion in the sport. That is discipline.
Exactly. And a man that can beat addiction, he gonna beat you.
By the age of 21, he embarked upon a career and built himself a reputation for his devastating stone fists, earning him the nickname Powhatan, translating literally to hands of stone. Alex has a sister who witnessed the same struggles as him, and she too also started kickboxing. He would help her prepare.
That kind of trauma, man. When you're so traumatized, you just want violence. What? The whole family.
As they dreamed of both becoming kickboxing champions. It is safe to say fighting is in their blood. Alex experienced a turbulent start to his kickboxing career. He endured losses which were masked over by impressive victories. Although he remained largely unknown, it wasn't until he met the Black Dragon, Israel Adesanya, that he got the recognition he deserved. Israel was inspired to start fighting from the movie On Back and watching Jackie Chan. He made a name for himself on the local scene and was brought over.
See the difference as to why. His reason for fighting was watching movies and Jackie Chan. This other man is alcohol in his head. Okay.
Hey, you know that man. I'm not going to disrespect that man like that, Camus. I don't know what it's been.
Listen, the story is right here. I'm not making it up.
Okay.
He was inspired by a movie and a movie. Basically, All Back and Jackie Chan.
Okay. Yeah, that ain't gonna work long term. You got people with real emotional stress and fighting coming from the bottom. Got that pain and suffering. You gotta. I watched the movie Saturday. Watched this Jackie Chan. I said, that look interesting. Maybe I'll do that. Nah, that ain't gonna work.
Calling himself the Black Dragon.
By Chinese kickboxing organizations.
Where's the Black Dragon from? Where's this Black Dragon from?
Nigerian.
Oh, Black Dragon. Hey, you gotta do better than that, man. You gotta grow up in the slums or something. You gotta have some kind of anger.
Listen, he moved to New Zealand early in his life.
New Zealand? Oh no, you're not even from the poverty. You're from New Zealand, the white country. I Mike, because I have Cheerio, Mike. You don't ain't got you ain't got the struggle of a man coming from the favelas.
He's oceanic. That man started off in the jungle, ended up in favelas, ended up in a family drinking liquor. Decided to
he already angry. That's right.
That man has a reason why, and when you piss him off, you know the reason why now.
Me over as a journeyman for they guys to beat up on, so they gave me a name, for sure, Halong. That means the Black Dragon.
The kickboxing greats went to war on 2 different occasions. The first fight turned out to be largely inconclusive. Alex landed some significant strikes in the first round, only to be put on the back foot in the second round until he regained composure and delivered some beautiful combos. In the third round, Izzy was able to inject dominance, but it wasn't enough to win the fight as the judges scored the contest in Alex's favor. A rematch was inevitable.
It was a relatively close fight, but if I had to judge, I would have given it to Pereira.
1 year later, the pair met once again. It appeared Adesanya had come ready for war to avenge his loss. The first and second round was snatched by Izzy.
What was that though, bro?
Had come ready for war to avenge his loss. The first and second round was snatched by Izzy. Alex narrowly surviving the standing count in the second. It seemed that vengeance was on the cards until that famous left hook of the Brazilian devastated his opponent.
But Alex Pereira is one of the scariest fucking strikers on planet Earth. He's a bad motherfucker. That dude is different. He's scary. He's scary. Even when he was over in Glory, I was a big fan of his over in kickboxing. He was fucking everybody up in 2 different weight classes over there. Right. He hits people, and it doesn't even make sense. That dude has nuclear power. He's got crazy power. He's one of the most vicious knockout artists in Glory history.
Alex pursued his next conquest and became the first fighter to become a double-weight kickboxing champion in Glory. Interestingly, Adesanya chose a different path and moved to MMA, which arguably granted him higher accolades.
He's special, man. I think he's going to be the next big superstar. I really do. He's got everything going for him.
Checks all the
Spectacular
boxes.
talent, great personality. He's fun.
Listen, personally, I like all good fighters have problems. They don't have balanced lives. They don't golf. They got problems. Either they got a case they're trying to beat.
When you say they don't golf, that what you said? That what you said? Cameron?
Listen, any good fighter, and I mean a good fighter, has problems, like psychological problems of a certain type. Okay?
Usually.
So when I find a guy that says they're a good fighter and they golf and they have savings and a balanced lifestyle where they've never been in court for some dumb stuff, or substance abuse, like you need to have problems to become a good fighter. Like you need to be fighting something.
You need to have some kind of edge. I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, he fights with as much skill as we've ever seen a striker. I mean, he's Anderson Silva 2.0. He really is, man. His striking's out of this.
But that being said, Adesanya is a beast. Like he's a bad man, and it took a very special type of fighter to actually beat him. That's why the UFC was so adamant on bringing in Alex Pereira, because he was unchallenged in his weight category, and they needed to give him a challenge, and they gave him
world, man.
He would solidify his place in middleweight greatness as he picked apart Robert Whittaker on his own soil. Izzy would go on to earn $500,000 after his victory, whereas championship fighters in Glory were earning around $20,000 per fight. The next conquest for Alex Pereira was clear. He would dedicate all of his time and effort into MMA with the aim of setting the UFC alight and cashing in on some big fights.
Guerra said, Adesanya hasn't thought about me. He left kickboxing. He never thought about me again. He never thought he would see me again. I thought about Adesanya every single day that I've gone to bed.
Pereira's first MMA encounter would result in a submission loss. He went on to win his next 3 fights, building recognition along the way, most importantly with Dana White, and Alex was signed to the UFC. It was a fairy tale debut for Alex. A brutal knee combination almost knocked the head off his opponent. The second matchup ended via decision in Alex's favor, but it would be the third test that mattered the most. The opponent, Sean Strickland, a true veteran of the sport who had never lost at middleweight and had a top 10 ranking. A swift, venomous left hook left Strickland crumbling towards the canvas. Dazed and confused,
Israel is essentially out the middleweight division.
How many years he is middleweight champion? 3, 4. I think he deserves some respect. You know, don't treat him like this.
Because I've already kind of cleared the path by clearing out the middleweight division. There was really no one else for me to fight.
And I'm so impressed at how fast he came through the ranks. I cannot think of a guy who went from 0 to main event as quickly.
We have that history in kickboxing, so yeah, you know, they set him up nicely, and I like that.
The only contender that Izzy hasn't beaten in the middleweight division is now Alex Pereira, and the UFC set an event between these two old foes was irresistible.
Israel Adesanya wanted to turn around right after this last fight. We said it was Pereira. He said, perfect.
This wasn't a fight that was forced upon you by the UFC. You want this fight.
Yeah, of course.
You want this fight.
I've never, ever ducked anyone, ever.
Look at me. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
He's just such an intimidating figure.
Oh, yeah.
Pereira, right? Every time he even looks at Izzy, you can tell he's almost licking his chops. He can't wait to get back in there and fight him again.
Look at that man's face. What? It's the determination for me.
To lose, you don't just lose the fight, you lose all of that goes with it, the lifestyle, the stardom, the fame, the deals, the money.
All this, don't worry. Hey, he's got bragging rights. Talk all the you want. Talk all the you want.
Only one man knows the secret to beat Israel Adesanya. The one who did it before is tailor-made to do it again. Both men landed devastating blows, with Pereira hanging on in the first round only to be saved by the bell. Adesanya seemed a man in usual control, picking away at his opponent and generally controlling the fight. The fatigue of Alex Pereira looked likely to ignite his downfall, but it seemed the heart and hunger of the Brazilian surfaced as round 5 commenced. A flurry of brutal fists ended Adesanya's unbeaten run in the middleweight division. Once again, it looked like Izzy
is dazed,
but the iron fists of Pereira had different ideas.
This guy's the comeback kid. Yeah. Same way last time. That's the thing. It's like same way as last time.
Alex has silenced all who doubted him. He has truly risen like a phoenix and is now the UFC's middleweight champion. For Alex Pereira, the dream has come true. He has successfully built a career on his merits and freed himself of the crime and alcoholism that await.
But exactly. But the beauty of the story is, in the second fight, he was beat. Adesanya beat him in the second fight, which was an interesting twist. And this is something that they've had back and forth, and that's what great warriors do. They bring out the best in each other. The competitive edge to actually want to better your opponent. You know, that's why Evander Holyfield's ear was bitten off, man. He couldn't believe it. Beating me, man. Give me that ear. You know, like
He couldn't. But that was the first day of Mike Tyson. He couldn't beat Holyfield, so that's what he just got frustrated that he couldn't beat Holyfield, so that's all he could do.
yeah, and that's. I feel like from a sporting perspective, we can learn a lot from
Of course.
From martial arts and boxing in general, or
Of course, everything has life lessons that we can apply. Cameron, of course.
Yeah, because the discipline that it takes to become a top fighter, you're not fighting against amateurs, right? You're fighting against people that wake up every day trying to beat you. They train every day to take your head off.
Every day, every second.
And then you get in that ring and you find that somebody is like levels above another, and you're like, and then somebody else is even better than that. It's talent and sometimes genetics, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But like you said, sometimes your talent and your desire can outweigh your genetics. Some people could be a genetic specimen, but you have to work harder and put more into it. And sometimes it's not genetics; it's heart. You got to have the heart. So, even though I might have great genetics, if I don't have the heart, you got that drive, and like you said, chiefs have drive and discipline, and just the things in life that makes us want to win. So yeah.
Like I remember there's a fight I watched. It was at the Adesanya's fight, and it was against Gastelum or something. It was some white dude, and it went down to the last round, and the cameras caught it perfectly because they had beat each other up properly, and I'll bring the highlights to that tomorrow. But in the last round, Adesanya goes like, "I'm ready to die." You get that type of mentality.
Yeah,
like, I'm ready to die
that means you're going to win this fight, you're going to damn near kill this man. Exactly.
Yep. And he went out there and put him down. You get like he's ready to live it all in here, and that's a mentality that if most people adopted in life will be able to go really far. Don't doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. True. And that is a message that as the Black on Fire fraternity, we will try to push every day. Believe in yourself. You are it. Okay? Don't let somebody intimidate you because of your skin color or because of your financial background or because of anything really. You are your own biggest champion. Live your day as a champion. Any closing remarks, Keith?
I say much love, family. It was a good show with Canvas. Enjoyed it. And see you guys on the next one with Joby.
Okay. Till tomorrow. Ciao.
Peace.
Sao Paulo, but perhaps more importantly, which will stand as eternal inspiration for many, is the example he set for millions of children who are born in the same tough circumstances he was. Much like the Brazilian greats who set the path before him, he too has given hope to all and shown that this journey to greatness is possible.
Yes, Joe Mosquito. Hello, Joe Mosquito. Yes, we are talking about the style bender, Israel Adesanya. Yeah, he's exactly who we're talking about. It might sound disrespectful, but Alex Pereira is a much, much better fighter. And I'm a big fan of Adesanya, but Alex Pereira is just a different animal.